Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Why are we here on Tuesday? Oh, look at that! Is that what is that? Is that what I think it is, Spencer?
It is what you think it. If what you think it is not just a piece of garbage, then that's what you think it is.
That's right. That is a pass for the two of us to go see A Million Ways to Die 3 days early. So we're going to the movies today.
That's right. It's StillerBros at the movies early this week.
That's right. We're going to be seeing the movie early. You guys are going to be getting to see it. There's a cop up the head, so I'm going to try to stop vlogging quickly. But otherwise, yeah, we'll see you in a second. So, let's just talk a little bit. First of all, I won these tickets in a radio contest. We are not getting like a critic screening or anything, so...
Because we're not real critics, because if you look at the because everyone who is watching this video, if anyone is looking at the subscriber count and can tell, we are not real acclaimed movie critics.
But it is a Seth MacFarlane movie. I got these tickets on Thursday. They came in the mail, and now I got the pass and we're going to see it at a theater miles away, not our usual theater at all. And we're not going to be allowed to film in there because it's in a mall.
And also the theater is going to scan us for any cameras, so that's not happening.
Yeah, this is
since this is a pre-screening and not an actual screening.
We are not allowed to bring any recording devices in. We're going to have to turn this off. We're going to have to turn our phones off. It's a big deal. So yeah, that's happening. But
we love Seth MacFarlane.
Who doesn't love Seth MacFarlane?
Mothers.
Our mother hates Seth MacFarlane.
Lots of mothers hate Seth MacFarlane.
Our mother does not like Seth MacFarlane. But we're going. We loved Ted, Family Guy, American Dad, Cleveland Show. They were good. But this particular movie looks fun. I've heard that most of the good stuff is in the trailers, but whatever.
This movie is going to be fun. This movie's going to be a good time. I have complete faith in Seth MacFarlane after Ted, and plus, Ted was one of our favorite quotable movies of 2012.
Yeah,
with all of the lines that we probably shouldn't be saying in a YouTube video, but we're probably gonna.
And Family Guy is probably the best quotable show as well, with every episode having a quotable show. That we love to say, like, scissors are jerks, and I'm an owl. If you don't watch the show, you don't get the context to that. And
basically, the context is Peter's childlike. He got some scissors. He made a paper mask, but there's blood all over his hands.
But yeah, that's it. I don't think we're going to be recording all that much because I don't want to record us doing nothing. So I guess we'll see you guys later.
We'll be back.
Okay, guys. So we just got out,
and that was a great movie.
It was good, and we're not just saying this because this is going up on Twitter for something that's going on later, but it was really good, and the cameos were probably the best part. There were more cameos. One of them got spoiled in the commercials, so that's a bit of a bummer, but there are a couple more that were not spoiled in the trailers that ended up making the movie great, and I'm not going to spoil them either because you guys got to go watch it for yourselves.
So let's talk about A Million Ways to Die in the West, starting with I guess we can talk about Seth MacFarlane in three different ways: the acting, the writing, the directing. Let's start with the writing just by saying there are some scenes in this movie, not all the scenes, the whole thing, it's not the whole thing, it's just a few scenes that make Ted look like Frozen.
It was very dirty. It was mind-bendingly dirty. There was some gross humor, but it all fit together.
If that's your thing, then you're gonna be fine. Then you're gonna be just fine. But there were a lot of old couples in the theater with us, so once again, do with it what you will.
And it was good. I liked it. I am so excited for it to come out on DVD because I want to see some more stuff. There's clearly some stuff that got deleted that will be coming out later. But otherwise, let's go a little bit more in depth into the acting and the directing. The directing was phenomenal, with Seth being
This is different than Ted in the ways that this is a lot more of a big style movie. Ted could have easily been a low budget indie movie that he could have done, but instead he did it big budget. Universal funded it and everything. funded by all these production companies and everything.
And he's got the money to fund all these movies himself and everything. We're not calling him out on anything, but
this one was clearly his big budget picture, and it featured a lot of great sequences that really stood out.
Yes,
and I never noticed how big Amanda Seyfried's eyes were until I saw this movie, and I thought, her eyes are enormous. They're like anime characters.
Yeah. 1 second, please. So the acting,
Seth MacFarlane does not need characters. He did this it's himself playing the straight man in the whole thing. He's basically playing the modern day guy who got lost in time.
And Seth, they've been calling him the next Mel Brooks, and I love that his style of filmmaking is similar to Mel's, because, I mean, Mel Brooks was a great director and a great writer and a great, and not exactly a great actor, but, they both knew about comedy. Seth's a little bit raunchier than... Okay, we're going right. Seth is a little bit raunchier than Mel was, but the two of them have a very similar style, and I think the best part about this is that Seth had some pop culture references in there as part of it.
Let's see what else we've got. Charlize Theron was doing quite well with this. And Liam Neeson, I loved Liam Neeson's performance in this.
It is the second time we've seen Liam Neeson's ass in a movie, so we don't really need to see that again, but it was a very funny part of the movie, so...
Yeah, and seeing him... And, he's never played the cowboy, I don't think.
I don't think he's ever been in a Western, which is surprising, but more surprising is that this kind of character was a little bit different than him, because he's never really been in this kind of just comedy stuff. I mean, he did the Lego Movie, and he's done a ton of movies since then, but, he's always been the guy in the action movie or the drama or something, so...
Yeah, he hasn't been go-to, let's put this guy in a comedy thing. And I don't think this is...
Which is what I always love about when they do that in a comedy movie. Like, we're going to see Jason Statham in a movie with Melissa McCarthy soon, so that's going to be interesting. But Liam Neeson, it definitely plays his part well.
The thing is, I don't think that this is going to be Liam Neeson turning into Leslie Nielsen, in the sense that he's been this dramatic actor for years, and now, late in his career, he's given this comedy role, and that's just going to give him comedy role after comedy role after comedy role until he turns into a comedic legend.
And now let's go into Neil Patrick Harris, one of my favorites, even though we had the Smurfs. But we even had a little nod to How I Met Your Mother. That was very funny, very good. It was like I see what you did there moment, which happens a lot in this movie. I didn't think that there was going to happen, but it did.
But they threw one of those babies in there.
They threw a couple of those babies in there, but the rest are spoilers.
Yeah, and then Giovanni Ribisi, who is a returning MacFarlane favorite from Ted.
Anyway, he did the dance from Ted, which was his idea in Ted, which was of course everybody in the theater was funny, thought it was good. Everybody laughed in the theater, which was great. When there was a huge joke, everybody was laughing and everything. There were some great cameos by some other MacFarlane favorites, like Ralph Garman made another cameo, Alex Borstein, who
plays Lois in Family Guy, if you don't know.
And Ralph Garman, who's played several different voices throughout Family Guy as well. We had Gilbert Gottfried. I'm just going to spoil that for you. I'm not going to tell you who he is or anything, but it is hilarious.
And then Christopher Lloyd has already been spoiled by trailers, so he's in this. He reprises his role as Dr. Emmett Brown from the Back to the Future trilogy.
And that's fun. Amanda Seyfried was good in it as well, and Sarah Silverman
she's hilarious in pretty much everything she does. I mean, Wreck-It Ralph was pretty funny, and the first scene she's in, kind of, her voice, you hear her voice, but you don't see her. And I was just thinking, that's Penelope von Schweetz from Wreck-It Ralph.
A character who we saw at Disney World just 1 week ago.
That is correct.
Literally 1 week ago. A week from today, we saw her. We saw her, well, actually tomorrow, but We saw
It doesn't matter.
the character in Disney World,
And
now we're seeing Sarah Silverman doing something.
completely out of that character's range. The character was written for her, but
Yeah.
anyway, let's not get too far deep into little details like that.
So anyway, let's see. Anything else you can think of before we go into the next part?
I think I'm good.
All right. So a lot of the jokes hit very well. Some of them did not hit well. You could tell from audience that only certain people were laughing at certain jokes, but it was very funny, and it was just as good as Ted. It was about as good as Ted, maybe a little not on the dot as Ted was. But
There is the occasional quotable line like, "Take your half, boy. That's a real dollar bill."
These were some great jokes. They hit hard. They hit well. It really brought up Western culture back in the 1880s. And I'm so happy with the way this movie turned out. We are...
Granted, we're probably not going to be quoting lines from this movie for months like we did with Ted, but this is still a very good movie. This is a very funny movie, and I believe that this is Seth MacFarlane continuing to surprise people. We actually thought Ted was going to bomb because
it was a comedy, and comedies don't do well.
Reviewers tend to rip comedies like Ted apart with, "Oh, this is just stupid humor. This is just fart jokes and idiots."
But no, got really good reviews. We went to go see it. We loved every second of it. We have that job interview bit we had memorized this after we got out of the theater, and I was like, I'm going to do that in my next job interview. And I didn't get the job, so I didn't actually do that in a job interview, by the way. I'm just pointing that out. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just YouTube it, but just look it up on YouTube. But I warn you, it is not for little kids. It is barely for teenagers, so...
But anyway, this is a great movie. This is fun. I think we should... Is there any bad points you want to point out specifically?
I think... I could point out that there was a little too much... There wasn't enough... I want to point out that there was kind of way too little of stuff to laugh at in the middle of the movie. There was a huge chunk where it was kind of lesser jokes near the middle, but otherwise I don't think I could say this was a terrible movie. I was laughing consistently throughout most of it. I loved that there was more that the action sequences were directed amazingly by Seth. I loved that Seth was actually opening up as a director and an actor, and I love that Alan Jackson does the final song in the movie with "A Million Ways to Die," which is a great old-fashioned country song, and the mustache song was stuck in my head for like 2 scenes afterwards.
Yeah, the 2 original songs in this movie are great. I hope at least one of them gets nominated for an Oscar this year. Whether it be the mustache song, which was sung by I don't know the guy's name. I will look it up on iTunes maybe tomorrow, maybe when we get home, but other than that, I don't know the guy's name off the top of my head. I probably won't mention it in this review at all, but I loved that song. It was fun, and it got stuck in your head pretty easily. I don't think it's going to get stuck in my head during work tomorrow, but still.
And then "A Million Ways to Die," and then "A Million Ways" by Alan Jackson. He says shit in the song. That is
you never
just
know you want your favorite singer to say shit until you actually hear it.
Yeah, it was just great. And the end, there was a before the credits, post-credit scene with a cameo by a that was very unexpected, but we're not going to tell you. There's 2 cameos that we're not going to tell you about.
There's actually 3, but the third one we didn't even know about because I looked at the credits and looked, he was in this movie. Didn't see him. All right.
It was Ewan McGregor. We didn't even look for him we didn't watch for him or anything. But there were 2 that we had no clue were happening. Gilbert Gottfried we knew where it was happening because of IMDb, but
IMDb and Seth MacFarlane tweeting it out.
But anyway, that's all I can say. This was a good movie. I really wish that Doc Brown and Gilbert Gottfried would have been kept a secret with their cameos, but
shit happens.
Shit happens. It's a way of life. we get to swear. We're gonna swear a little bit more. We just swore a little bit more in the review, but because of all this, but.
Yeah, but I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because I can overlook little things, because there are a lot of little things, because this was a hilarious movie, and I cannot wait for Ted 2, and I don't think this one's getting a sequel, but hey, if you're going to throw something together, I'd be all for it.
Yeah, Ted 2's going to be awesome next year. Can't wait to see it. I will be first in line to buy tickets on opening day, and I can't wait to see and I can't wait to get this on Blu-ray when it comes out later this year. I'm so excited. I loved it. It was hilarious. It's like one of my favorite comedies of this summer so far, of this year so far. And I haven't seen, and I'm so excited to see what Seth has next, especially with Family Guy and American Dad, not the Cleveland Show, R.I.P. Cleveland Show. But anyway, that's it, guys. We're just gonna rate this puppy, and then we're gonna get out of here.
So yeah, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 for me as well, and that's it. And that's gonna be it for us, guys. So don't forget to leave a comment down below saying what movies you want us to see, what movies this year, what movies you think we should probably see that are older, and you want us to hear us review it. And more importantly, do not spoil it in the comments, or you are a Nazi.
Hail Hydra.
And we will see you guys next time. So bye.
Bye.